Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. My name is Patrick McMullen. I am Nancy's son. I know it would make Mom happy to see so many friends and family here. Well, I'd just like to spend a few minutes sharing some of my memories of Mom. My dad, my brother and sister talked about some of the things we wanted to say. There's probably not enough time to say everything I'd like to say, but I just want to get the most important things out there. Mom was born in 1938 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to John and Henrietta Hoban. Her father was the only grandparent I remembered or I ever really knew. Everybody tells me that Mom took after her mother, who was nicer than her father. That I do remember. She went through Catholic schools. She went to Sacred Heart High School in Pittsburgh. She went to Duquesne University, which is a very reputable Catholic university in downtown Pittsburgh, and that's where she met my dad. I learned here in the last few days that Dad had his eye on her for over 2 years. She was a sorority girl, and he wasn't into that whole thing, and Dad is very proud and pleased because he felt as if he struck gold. And I really enjoyed hearing that story. I really had not heard that until the last few days. They were married in 1961, 3 children. Tom was born in 1962. I was born in 1964. Merritt was born in 1967. As I remember growing up in the house, Little League games, that sort of thing. Mom and Dad never missed a game. They were very supportive parents. Tom and I were at the funeral home Saturday talking about Mom's biography so that it can be published in the Courier-Journal. And there were the standard questions by Cody, the funeral director, and he asked a set of perfunctory questions and says, "Was Mom in the military?" And Tom says, "Well, technically no, but she was a general in the house in which we grew up." And I thought that was a pretty good point. As we grew up, Mom and Dad were very welcoming of a large number of friends that came through the house. And in the last few days, it's been nice to hear about how so many of these friends called her Mom. Friends Tom and I grew up with called her Mom. And we heard some of these stories in recent days, and it really, really, really made me happy. I think it made all of us happy to hear about that. My wife Sandra and I were the first to get married. Sandra Lyle, my wife, we got married in 1993. In 1994, Tom married Adrienne Spiegel, and in 2003, Merritt married John Howerton. And there were 5 grandchildren. Kirby was born in 1996. That's our son. Tom's first son, Jack, was born in 1998. Then came Abby, my daughter, in 1999, and then Finn came in 2002. Tom's youngest boy, and then McKenna came in 2005. And that's sort of the official biographical thing I wanted to mention. The rest of it gets a little more personal. In 2001, Mom was diagnosed with a blood cancer called polycythemia vera. And it was difficult for her. She had pain. It was difficult for her to get around, and in 2003 she had shoulder replacement surgery. In fact, she had both shoulders replaced and both knees replaced, and there was even talk of hip replacement. And she was in a lot of pain. In 2003, in the first shoulder replacement operation, she wasn't recovering like we had hoped, and it was so serious that Dad called all of us into town because he didn't think Mom was going to make it. Well, after several difficult days in intensive care, Mom did make it, and it was shocking to see her recovery because just 2 or 3 weeks later, she went to Pennsylvania for the funeral of my cousin Sean, who died under tragic circumstances. It just amazed me that she had the strength to do that. A few months later, Merritt got married to John in this church. There was a wedding reception downtown. And I remember that because it's the happiest I'd ever seen my mom. if I could ask Mom, what was the happiest day of your life, she would probably say the day Merritt and John got married, for several reasons. Merritt was the youngest. Merritt was the only one married in the Catholic Church. And Mom knew she had a new lease on life. And I remember that night, we were able to get a huge amount of family together. And Mom and Dad were so happy on that day. And when I got back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is where I live, I told my wife, Sandra, you know, whatever time we have left with Mom is a bonus as far as I'm concerned. She's in so much pain, she's in so much suffering, that every day is a gift. Sandra agreed with me, and I told that story to Dad on Saturday morning, and he agreed with me as well, and he approached Mom's condition the same way. So there was a lot of pain between the joint replacements, countless falls. I don't know how many times Mom fell. I lost count of the number of times Mom was hospitalized in the last 10, 12 years. And it was painful to see Mom suffer. It got to me after a while. I say that selfishly. I think it probably got to Tom and Merritt too, because we were on a roller coaster in terms of how Mom was doing. But nobody suffered other than Mom like Dad. Dad never left Mom's side the last 12 years. Perhaps an occasional round of golf with my son Kirby, or an occasional round of golf with John, Merritt's husband. Maybe an occasional U of L ball game with Dr. McMartin. Aside from that, he was at Mom's side the whole time. I don't know how Dad did it. People boast about their children. I understand why. I have children. I like to boast about my children. I want to boast about my parents. Maybe growing up, you're younger, you're more selfish, you think about your kids, you boast about your kids, but I want to boast about my parents. I just wish I could be half the parent that my mom and dad have been. My dad is the most unselfish man I've ever known. And I don't know how Dad did it. I don't know how Mom continued to fight. I know I would have quit a long time ago. I know that. I've told anybody with a set of ears I would have quit. But they pressed on. And I would be lying, although I'm grieving right now, I would be lying if I didn't say I feel some relief right now. I hope I speak on behalf of anybody close to Mom that I feel some relief now. I think it's going to take me a while to get past this, but Mom is out of pain, and that's important to me. So Mom is gone, and I think it'll take us all a while to recover from that. But when I think of Mom, I'm going to think of her as I saw her in 2003 at Merritt's wedding reception, the happiest I have ever seen her. Thank you for coming out.